riding on it. On board is the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter, or LRO, our map maker. If LRO fails, so will everything else. Because before we can build a base, we have to figure out where to put it. And on the moon, as on Earth, the three key factors are location, location, location.
Well, right now, the best maps for the moon were made by the Clementine Orbiter in 1994 and the Lunar Prospector in 1998 and 99. The problem is they're incomplete and they're relatively low resolution. They're very good. In order to really understand the real estate we want to go to, we got to do better.
LRO's vital mission is to map the moon in detail using advanced lasers. Up until now, the best moon maps have only been accurate to within a dozen kilometers. But LRO will go down to the nearest 100 meters. Without it, knowing precisely where to place a shelter or anything else on the moon would be next to impossible. The 6 previous moon landings stuck strictly to the lunar equator, where the surface is flattest, the best place for a safe landing. This time around, the most important criteria of where to land will be what they can find there, specifically mineral resources. That's because no long-term manned lunar mission will be able to survive based only on what they bring along.
Imagine packing for a camping trip and packing 50 gallons of water for 2 weeks, because there's none, and your 50 pounds of food, and your 50 pounds of packs. Well, that's a lot of packing. Every ounce, every gram you take into space costs money, because you have to launch it and get there and land it.
In space, survival boils down to a small but critical checklist of essential items. First and foremost is oxygen. Oxygen is not only crucial for breathing, but it's the primary ingredient in rocket fuel. NASA teams will first need to know where the oxygen-rich rocks are located, even before they devise a way to extract it. To find these minerals from 250,000 miles away, researchers at the Goddard Space Center in Maryland have come up with a novel solution: the Hubble Space Telescope. For over 15 years, Hubble has wowed the world with deep glimpses into far-off galaxies. Now the telescope turns its gaze a little closer to home. Because what it can do amazingly well is tell Chief Scientist James Garvin where key mineral resources will be found.
Hubble's exquisite ultraviolet vision that we need to map galaxies applied to the moon, we can ask, where are there resources rich in oxygen that we may be able to identify on the moon and learn to use to live off the land? Now, here's something really cool. This is our best map of the distribution of the highest oxygen-bearing soils on the moon.
Shown in blue, oxygen-rich material has a specific fingerprint when exposed to ultraviolet light.
And it turns out, because Hubble sees so well in this ultraviolet part of the spectrum that our eyes don't see, we can use it as a fingerprint finder on another planetary surface.
Human eyes see only shades of gray on the moon, but Hubble reveals a world of vibrant color. Using the color fingerprint from previous lunar landing sites as a key, scientists can locate pockets of oxygen-rich rocks. It's a map to potential lunar treasure.
Because in real estate, location's everything, and that's the way exploration works. Do we want to go back to these places? Do we want to go to this place? Down here to the poles where there could be water ice? Hubble allows us to map what's there and target more precisely where we might want machines and people to go.